Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
Oh, yeah, you're damn right I'm here. You're damn right I'm here. That's because I freaking love you people. I love you people, and I love local sport. I love Tampa Bay sports. I love. Because I had after that incredible hockey game last night, brother. Woo-hoo-hoo! Wow. I got paid to see that thing last night. What do you think about that? Good morning to you, Timmy.
Good morning. I really wish one of these days we could start a paid subscription stream for about $10 a month.
Yeah.
And let those special people, those special Petermans, in on our pre-show meetings only. You got to pay for it because they are gold. They're absolute gold. Now, sometimes they only last a minute and a half because that's when JP decides to pop on the stream.
But it's gold.
But it's a minute and a half of gold, and you should pay $10 a month to listen to that because it's glorious.
Oh, absolutely. We'd all be put in jail and fired, but yeah, I'd have to fire myself. Major HR violations going on right and left. It's just
I feel so violent.
Cats and dogs. Right, it's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, what a fucking hockey game. It's like, oh my God. Well, the building was popping last night, man. The building was popping. The Avs come skating in. So we're going to get to all that. I know you guys, you want to talk Harbaugh. You want to get right into it. I don't blame you. And then I got a tidbit. It's actually more than a tidbit. It's actually way more than a tidbit. Yeah. One of the great things about doing the Lightning gig is, you show up at a game like that. All the stars are there. Everybody, all the major players in the city are there. Everybody's there. And you'll get a text and like, hey, man, come on down to the bar at 216. I got some good information. I can't text it to you. Oh, okay. I shall be right down after I do my little pregame here. Go down there, get a little information. Hey, come on over to Sweets. Well, I almost gave the number. That was bad. got a little scoop for you. Oh, okay. It's like a fish feed market. It's fantastic. So we got some tidbits for you here today, and we'll as we do all the time, guys. We're not coming out here on the front page and saying we've got multiple sources. Blah. I'll give it to you all in context, and it's important stuff, and it's big stuff, and it's pissed me off, to be quite honest. But so I'm going to judge by what we have in the comments here to say that we better go right to the Todd Bowles, Jim Harbaugh. And I apologize to my Lightning employers.
I don't think they need an apology. They understand who runs the town.
Ouch, babe.
Hey, I live in Dallas, all right? It's a football town, period. I don't care who wins a World Series or an NBA title. It's a football town.
Well, the Lightning have their foothold here. There's no doubt about that. And but this is pretty much the hot topic that everybody wants to talk about. So let me just do this real quick, okay, before we get to Harbaugh. Just tip of the cap to the Tampa Bay effing Lightning. They were, they came into the first 2 weeks of this season and they were just searching. They were searching. They just things weren't going their way. Puck's not going in. It was awful. Was it 1-7-2 that they started? Yeah, it was awful. And everybody's like, man, they're too old. They're too slow. I'm like, there's a little bit of that. There's no question about that. But let's just give it a little bit of time here. Because you know what we got? We got what may be the best coach in the history of the NHL. That's right. I effing said it.
Scotty Bowman might have something to say about that.
Yeah, well, Scotty Bowman had something to say last night when he narrated John Cooper's 1000th game video. How about that?
Pretty awesome there.
Yeah, plenty to say in that video about how great John Cooper is. But listen, there's awesome. Only two. There's Scotty Bowman's number one, most wins after 1,000 games with one team. With Scotty, one team. John Cooper's number two. Number two, 595 wins. And he has been in so many situations to go to the playoffs 12 out of 13 years.
And yet we have people trying to run him out of town on a regular basis.
Oh, they're ridiculous. 5 Cup finals. I mean, the record is spectacular. The journey that he is undertaken is unique for sure. It's not the regular NHL head coach journey at all. Beer leagues, college team. I mean, Midland, Texas. It's just at every level winning the championships. So John Cooper has taken this team and his staff and turned it into what may be the best team in hockey. They beat the Avs last night, who had lost 3 games in regulation so far this season. Yeah, I know they didn't have Landeskog. Taves was out. I get it. So was McDonough and Hedman. You know, we've had our share of injuries this year. But now this team is back in first place. It is the second best team in terms of points and point differential. Their power play is coming on. A big power play goal last night by Gensel to get things going. The line last night of Gord and Holmberg and Gergensen scores a big goal, and they frustrate McKinnon all night long. He had 5 shots, but it was a -2. I apologize. I got this cough as part of it. You guys don't want to hear my problems. The Lightning, that game last night was a Stanley Cup Finals preview. If these two teams stay relatively healthy to where they are, they're going to meet in the final. They are both that good. We'll see how Florida's injuries go.
Man, that's going to be a tough one for me, too. Not gonna lie.
Hey, listen, I'll take 7 games of that, but we better be holding the cup afterwards. As long as we keep people from coming off the bench early, you know, got us last time.
At least they fight fair.
Yes,
a lot of respect to the Avs for the way they play.
That's right. 100%. But what a game last night. Lightning's forecheck was ferocious. Their defense, these young defensemen are just playing their ass off. Destu, fantastic. I mean, what Radish is doing is just ridiculous. Another point last night. A 4-game point streak. I think he's 3rd now among NHL defensemen. Ridiculous guy that was healthy scratch. That's just a great story that's developing with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Vasi was tremendous in the final 4 minutes. Final 4 or 5 minutes, Colorado was pushing. And they're getting shot after shot. And Vasi's just scrambling. And these guys are just – and it's like it was inevitable they were going to score. So you almost felt like, guys, we got to get the empty netter. And sure as shit, Cirelli and Hagel bust out, and Cirelli puts the biscuit. They had a couple chances. Somebody, one of the defensemen put it down the ice. Vasi had the puck by himself from behind the net, came out. It was the empty net, and the crowd was like, yes, shoot that thing down the ice. But he passed it off. Smart play. So anyway, 4-2 win. Huge win by the Lightning. And we'll break it down a little bit more later on in the show. All right. So John Harbaugh yesterday becomes available. And Timmy, you can jump in here on some of the details of this. Mm-hmm. There's, evidently, first of all, and Tony Dungy put out a big post last night about what is the NFL doing? Like, how in the hell?
I thought it was great.
18 seasons, 13 playoffs, a Super Bowl, 3 championship games, division titles out the yin yang. And he's like, good luck finding a better coach than this guy. And evidently the owner Bisciotti is just, he wants a shiny new toy, right? He wants a shiny new toy. He doesn't like Todd Monken as the OC, right? No, there's an article that came out about Lamar Jackson from a very reputable source, and it's as clear as day that the ownership, Bisciotti wanted this out there. Somebody has this reeks of Wander Franco, frankly. Yeah. Where you go to the organization goes to the press and spills the beans. And the narrative is he stays up late playing video games, falls asleep in meetings, doesn't want to do meetings in the morning. Harbaugh sat at the podium and said, this is all news to me. So that was I think that's a little bit of background on why the hell a coach with this kind of record would be canned. And he was fired.
He was fired after his kicker missed a game-winning kick to go to the playoffs. Now, if he makes that kick, is Harbaugh fired?
Probably not. I don't know. Because clearly winning clearly winning doesn't matter in this equation.
No.
There's something else. No,
and
right?
Look, there are 2 coach firings in this cycle so far that just blow me away. Like, my mind does not comprehend it. One of them is John Harbaugh, and the other one is Kevin Stefanski in Cleveland. Now, I understand the results have not been there, but he didn't trade for Deshaun Watson that turned out to be the biggest flop in history. He's a 2-time coach of the year with Cleveland.
Yeah.
He's the best coach you've had in this century.
Yeah.
Just give him a quarterback. But look, the Harbaugh thing, I'm a huge John Harbaugh fan. And I covered the Ravens for over 5 years up until about last year. And I still obviously, watch them very closely.
Yeah.
There have been rumors of a John Harbaugh, Lamar Jackson rift for years.
Yeah.
From the media. None of that has ever been substantiated anywhere ever, including by either one of them. And John Harbaugh, all he's done is win. But I will tell you, the fan base there have been done with him for a while.
Harbaugh?
Yes. He does not have the support of a lot of the fan base. It's the John Cooper thing of the NFL. Like, all he does is get you guys to the play. Well, he hasn't won a Super Bowl since, Joe Flacco, blah, blah. Winning a Super Bowl is hard, guys. You got to get to the playoffs first.
There's no groundswell in Tampa to fire John Cooper from the fans. That's not a thing.
No. But we hear it when they get ousted in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that was more national driven, to be honest with you. I don't sense that at all here. Never have.
But it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I didn't understand that. I didn't understand the Kevin Stefanski. And by the way, those are your top 2 coaching candidates in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
I would take one of those guys over anybody else that's in the cycle right now.
And 100% over Todd Bowles.
Is Todd Bowles' name, obviously hadn't been fired, but if he was, would his other than in Atlanta or Las Vegas, the most dysfunctional organizations that exist?
Well, we had a report yesterday. I think it was John Thiel, one of our loyal listeners, said that Arizona Sports Radio was talking about Bowles going to Arizona, back there because he had success there as the DC.
We had success here as the DC too.
Yeah. Listen, so let me get to this. So I go meet my source last night, and he is an excellent source. He's very well plugged in to the elite, the Tampa Bay elite, and I trust him.
Is his name Deep Throat? Did you meet him in the parking garage? Nobody.
It kind of felt like that a little bit, to be honest with you. We're kind of huddling over in the corner, and he's so funny. He's looking around. He's like, God, you can't tell. You got to be.
Gotta be careful.
I got it. Don't worry.
Are you wired, man? Are you wearing a wire?
So the gist of the conversation was this, that there's obviously this is it's a weird deal, in Tampa because we don't have one owner.
Yeah. We
have multiple owners. Brian, Joel, Darcy, Avi, Ed, and there was a couple others that are kind of fringe, but in my estimation, Darcy, Joel, Brian have been the most active. They've been the most active. Ed, very instrumental in the documentary. But those three, I think, are the kind of the triumvirate that make most of the decision. This is just my opinion based on what I've seen covering the team for many years. And what I was told was that, and I'm not going to name the which one, but they will not fire Todd Bowles. One of the owners is like, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. Man. And they love Todd Bowles. And this is where this has come. Bruce Arians said it yesterday. Ron Day Barber said it, and I've been telling you for a week, these people know the owners. This is what, as much as you don't want to hear it, this is what's going down. Now, I will say this. That conversation he had was pre John Harbaugh being fired. Now, I still don't think it affects it because obviously the Glazers know that there was a chance that Harbaugh was going to be let go, and Mike Tomlin, and evidently that has already been factored into whatever decisions are going to be made. But I think that may change the calculus a little bit. I don't know. I'm not in that room. I'm just obviously reading the tea leaves, having covered the team, and also knowing the NFL as we know the NFL. So I know that's not what you guys want to hear, because here's the bottom line. There is not a calculation that you can make. And if you're invested in this team and you're the owners of these teams, and you're invested to the tune of billions and billions of dollars, as you can tell from the documentary with the Glazers, I mean, this is part of their soul. This team is part of their soul. If you can stand there as owners and say, we're better off with Todd Bowles than John Harbaugh and Todd Monken as the OC, which would likely be a duo. Todd Monken, who has coached here, who they're very familiar with, had a great relationship and a great year with Baker in Cleveland, is a upper crust offensive coordinator, 2 national championships at Georgia, a really good head, turned around Southern Miss, beloved here by the Glazers as well. So I don't know that. I shouldn't say that. But his reputation here from the time he was here, it was extremely good. You cannot tell me that a Grizzard-Bowles combo is better than a Harbaugh-Monken combo. Now, and Monken is not a done deal if he would come here. Because he might get looks too. Yeah, he's getting looks, head coaching looks. So, but if I'm the owner, I'm going to make that a package deal. I'm going to make it a package deal and make sure that everybody's well compensated. And I'm making it happen today. That would be me. I mean, look at the record. Look at Harbaugh's record.
18 years, JP.
It's exemplary. The pedigree. The dude knows how to coach. He's that guy. I mean, we spent the last 2 days going over Bowles' resume. And again, love Todd. It pains me to talk like this, to be honest with you, because I love the dude and I was rooting for him. It's just not there. It's just not there. To sit here and watch what you've watched for 4 years and think that this is going to get any better from a coaching standpoint because he's going to tinker with the coaching staff? No. Did you hear what the players said this week? The players came out and told the media the practices are too soft. The defense is complicated. People aren't buying in. And you think suddenly this is going to get better? Sell me that. How are you selling me that? Let's sit down, Todd. How's it? What are we going to change? Oh, we're going to change some of the scheme. It's you've been running this scheme forever. Who are you kidding? You going to change the coaching staff? No, he's not going to change the coaching staff. Not on the defensive side. And if he does it really matter? He's going to be calling the plays. He's going to be running the scheme. He's going to be running the team. He's going to be managing these games. Did you see what happened at the end of the first half last week? Chris Fowler's going, I don't know, there's not much sense of urgency going on here. No, there's not. Did you see that? And how many times do we have? And we're gonna sit here and watch that for another year. Good God. You know, and I love Todd, but I love the Buccaneers too, and I love this city and this sports market. And to your point, Tim, the Buccaneers they're the bell cow. With all due respect to the Rays and the Lightning. You got millions of fans here, man. And 99% of them are like, come on, dog.
The NFL rules.
But nobody wants to see this. You got a golden opportunity. He's one of the top 5 coaches in the game. Did you see what Vrabel did? I know you saw what Liam Cohen did. Did you see what Ben Johnson did? Coaching fucking matters. And how much more? 4 years, it's been the same stuff. 8-9, 9-8, 10-7, 8-9. The worst division in football. I deserve the right. I've won 3 division championships. Are you kidding me? Are you tone deaf? Can you really go to the podium and say that? What are we doing? This is madness. Todd has had an incredibly distinguished career. He's made tons of money. He'll get a great buyout. He's a lovely man. Awesome guy. And maybe if he went somewhere else, he would have more success. But you can't have the players talking like this. And by the way, you can't have soft practices. You got to freaking practice football to play football. You think it's an accident that this team went 6-2 and then lost 7 of 8? No, it's because they weren't prepared. Watch the games. Mistakes all over the place. No physical defensive play. They can't tackle. Maybe it's because they're doing walkthroughs. Come on, man. What are we talking about here? I'm upset because I don't want to sit here for another freaking year and talk about this. And that's not the main reason, obviously, but you fans, look at the fans. How many comments do we have here today? By the end of the show, there'll be 500 at least.
Yeah.
I'm begging you, Brian and Joel. So, begging you, please. Darcy, Brian, Joel, Ed, Avi, all of you, come on. I know you like the guy. And I know. I get it. But come on. This is just, and this, there's no guarantee that Harbaugh is coming here or this next coach is going to win the Super Bowl. Chances are he won't. Only one team does it every year. But if you have any sense of what this fan base is going through right now, you have to make a change. You're going to go to a stadium next year. You think fans sold their tickets this year? Look at this. Look at the schedule that's coming here. If you could pop that up, Timmy. Sorry to put that on you. Their opponents for next year. Mm-hmm. These teams travel. These teams travel. And you're going to have a stadium full of the other team's fans. Because I'll tell you right now, Bucs fans, they already bought their tickets because you got to opt in August for the next year. You got to opt in or you lose all your benefits. They got you by the cojones. But they don't have to go to the games. Steelers, black and gold everywhere. Get ready, Bucs fans. You're going to be in the minority. The Packers, it's going to be like the old NFC Norris days.
Yeah.
It's
love those old division rivals.
And gold.
Yeah, 2 division rivals coming up, Packers and Vikings.
Yeah, the Vikings, they'll travel. The Browns won't. That'll be about 20,000 there that day. Chargers don't travel. Yeah, Chargers and Rams. But those, maybe.
They may be coming off a Super Bowl win.
Yeah. Yeah, get ready for, John Harbaugh and the Atlanta Falcons coming in here.
Oh, man. Can you imagine?
Yeah, because that's what's happening. If you don't get them, they will.
Not only do you not fire Bowles for the potential to get Harbaugh, but Harbaugh comes to the division.
Yeah. And if you were him, wouldn't you? I'd be like, whoo, look at that.
I don't know if I'd want to coach.
I got to match wits with Todd Bowles. We saw what that looked like.
Dave Canales.
Yeah, last
Ellen
year.
Moore.
Yeah. Whew.
God, dude. What a laugher this division is.
I mean, it's just, you have an opportunity here to change the fortunes of your franchise. And I wouldn't even call this a bold move. This is not even a bold move. It's not even close to a bold move. And by the way, if it's not Harbaugh, I can get you. I can get you a few more. Yeah. There's a lot going on. Yeah, I know there's Harbaugh. You guys are talking about him going to New York. Let me tell you what. You want to go to the Giants, and listen, y'all can slobber all over Jackson Dart all you want, but that kid's probably going to play about 3 years in the league because he doesn't know how to get out of bounds and save himself. And he's proven that he can play a little bit, but he's proven
Scatterboo.
Yeah.
Look what happened to Scatterboo.
Yeah. They've got some pieces there, but you want to go to that market and that franchise instead of come to Tampa with what you're working with here?
No, look, the Giants' job is like the Cowboys' job. Seasoned, successful head coaches don't take those jobs. Rookie head coaches take those jobs. Guys that are getting their first shot at a head coaching job go to the Giants and the Cowboys because of the organizational cluster F. And they see it. Successful head coaches go to stable organizations. And look, the Falcons aren't the most stable organization, but they've got a stable freaking and a great dedicated owner.
Yeah. And by the way, if and this is not just about Harbaugh. There are other candidates. You got to make a change. You got to make a change. There's plenty of good candidates out there. Sorry, I have to give our man Evan Klosky. We're having link troubles. Oh, and by the way, Evan Klosky's going to join us. Set up the show for us, will you? Timmy, tell everybody what's going on. I'm all
we've got in the second hour, we've got a big guest, director of special events for the Hula Bowl. Brett Bohl's going to be coming on with us to talk a little bit about the Hula Bowl out in Orlando, where FanStream Sports might be at next year, broadcasting live. So we're working on that, guys. So you may get some live JP and Timm next year at the Hula Bowl in Orlando.
Oh, wouldn't that be fun?
That'd be amazing. I would take it.
That'd be super fun.
Of course, all of our Bucs talk. We've got some transfer portal talk for you guys. I've got a story about JP's buddy Lane Kiffin and the LS losers down in Baton Rouge in my home state. But interesting signings and not signings in the quarterback realm of the transfer portal. Sam Levitt news, of course, the Red Raiders signing the number one quarterback from Cincinnati, Brendan Sorsby, which screwed Lane Kiffin, and now he's scrambling.
Yeah.
But funny story from LSU basketball last night. We'll get into that a little bit with Sam Levitt and Lane Kiffin in attendance.
Interesting.
Yeah, funny story there for sure.
Yeah, Florida State got their quarterback. First girl that winked at him, they went, "Oh, well, let's take him." Ooh. Went ugly early. Got the 75th best quarterback in the portal, just like last year, and Tommy Castellanos. I don't know what the FSU is doing. I'm done with that. I'm just.
Are they the Buccaneers of college football? With the coaching situation,
my fresh, it's very similar. It's very similar. Yeah, you've got an underperforming coach, a grossly underperforming coach. I won't say grossly with Todd, but an underperforming coach. He's not even close to Norvell levels, and you can't. And evidently, you won't fire him. You refuse to fire him. You can't fire him because for whatever reason, because it can't be merit based. Can't be. You know anything about football?
By the way, Florida Gators got a huge get as they retain Jaden Baugh, the number one running back in the class, as he was destined for the Longhorns, and now the Longhorns are scrambling because they don't have a running back right now for next year.
Yeah,
because they put all of their running back eggs in the Jaden Baugh basket, and he ain't coming. Horns downs.
Yeah, because they lost their number one running back to FSU.
Uh-huh. They lost all their running backs. They've got like their 8th and 9th string running backs from last year.
What's going on there? Sark leaving?
They suck.
Maybe Sark's leaving.
Idiots. Horns down morons.
All right.
I can't wait to ask Evan Klosky about the Miami Hurricanes, though. That's what he's going to be here to talk about.
Let's bring in the Emmy Award-winning Evan Klosky from Tampa Bay 10. My man.
Why we got to talk? Why we got to do that? I was getting over that Ohio State loss. We got to bring it back. Yeah.
Oh, you don't want to talk Miami Hurricanes today.
Let's don't hog national championships here, buddy. You got one last year. Now get out of here.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. But boy, losing to the Canes. Ooh, I know all about that. That's got to hurt.
Look, everybody had fun, and it was a fun game to watch. That's all that matters.
It was a great game. It was a really
the Canes beat my Aggies at home. So look, I'm feeling you. I'm right there with you.
It's that pick six, man. If that pick six doesn't happen, I think it's a totally coin flippy game. It's just look, you don't play sharp enough. They rose to the occasion. Tip of the cap. Sucks. As you said, Ohio State won a national championship last year. I can't have a pity party for myself.
Yeah, we just can't. Miami cannot win the national championship. I can't handle that. This would be the worst football season of my life.
Especially at home.
Yeah. Well, listen, I just did my Todd Bowles rant here, I got some really good information last night that confirms what BA is saying and Rondé and everybody that there's a faction in this ownership group, in the Glazers ownership group, and it is a group that just loves Todd Bowles, loves him personally, thinks he's a great coach, thinks he's going to get it done. I just don't see it. I don't see it. After 4 years, it's been the same stuff, and it's gotten worse. It's gotten worse. This is this 8-game stretch is the worst I've seen this Todd Bowles teams play. And after what we heard from the players the other day, Evan, there's a lot of damning stuff. I dare say I don't know if I've ever heard players come out and I don't want to maybe say throw their coach under the bus, but that kind of felt like that's what happened. What Yaya said and some of the other guys. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I guess I didn't take it like that. When I left the locker room clean out, the one thing that at least I felt was that the team was not fractured. It did feel like everyone was fine. I think they were a little bit flabbergasted as to why things didn't turn out the way they turned out. I do believe that there are a faction of players who think that they didn't work hard enough this year to achieve the goals that they wanted. And that is an indictment on their head coach for sure. I don't know if that necessarily means that they don't like Todd Bowles, but certainly means that Todd Bowles needs to fix some of the mistakes that he made this year, which is partly because of the collapse. So if he returns, there needs to be wholesale changes with how Todd Bowles does business. Part of me wonders if they came into the year thinking that they were going to do more walkthroughs, because last year, if you remember, they were beaten up in practice. Kalijah Cansey got injured before week 1. That was during a practice. I think Ernest Brown also got hurt in practice. Greg Gaines, I remember, got hurt in practice. I think that they were like, okay, maybe if we ease up on the practice during the week, that's going to keep us fresh for the game. And I think they learned, and they should have learned it a lot quicker, that no matter if you don't practice, it doesn't matter if you make it to game week, you're still not going to be effective. So
that's football 101, Evan.
Yeah, and for sure. And for whatever reason,
when guys get injured in practice, but you got to practice.
Yeah.
And Todd always defaults to rest. It's always his default. Take the week off. Take Victory Monday.
The bye week off. I don't care what he says in front of us, in front of a microphone. It was a bad call. It was just an absolute bad call. And he can kind of skirt around it and defend it however he wants, but it was a bad call. And I would just really like for Todd to be a little bit more open about the facts of, hey, I made that call during the season. If I can go back, I wouldn't have done that. But I felt like at the time we needed to do A, B, and C. We did that. It didn't work out. We'll reevaluate moving forward. Something like that. But it's always just him defending his position. And it's like, dude, if you defend your position and you're not willing to give up the fact that, like, maybe it was wrong.
Yes.
then you're not doing yourself any favors. And I think that was a lot of the frustration from fans all year, is that, and Todd did have a soundbite on Monday that was like, hey, put it all on me. I'm the head coach. It's my job to figure it out. Like, but we've been waiting for a soundbite like that for all season. And it took us till the 75% of the way through the press conference to finally get an answer like that. It just, I believe that the Glazers do not want to fire Todd Bowles. Whether they want to and it's the right move are two different things. And it's very tough for me to think that having a lame duck coach entering this next year, where you have a squad that potentially is a Super Bowl contender if you do the right things on the defensive side of the football. I don't know how you can enter next year thinking that's a great game plan, unless in the back of your head you're thinking, well, let's run it out there one more time. Worst case scenario, there is a plethora of quarterbacks in the 2027 draft. We'll restart this sucker. So, for me, that does not seem like the MO of the Glazers. So, I'm if he stays, it will be more puzzling, only because the fans are not behind him. And you have to make wholesale changes on the staff. And if you're going to make him a walk-around coach, and you already have an in-game manager, what is his job? What is he doing?
He's inspiring the team. He's a great game manager.
I can't believe that Todd Bowles is the mecca of culture, that all he could be a walk-around coach and do absolutely nothing. So, and I don't think Todd wants to be a walk-around coach. So, at some point, both parties need to understand that maybe this is just not a marriage that works out anymore. And that's the truth. And, I empathize a little bit with Todd, because I think from day one, he wasn't given much of a chance by many in the public. And, that 2022 season was a trash can of a season for a lot of reasons that were actually out of his control. Number one being he didn't even get to hire any staff. He literally acquired Bruce's staff.
But it was the Super Bowl staff with Tom Brady. I mean, I hear this a lot, but I'm like, most new coaches don't get that. Most new coaches don't get Tom Brady and a staff that just won the Super Bowl.
Bruce was the one calling that offense. I don't care what Bruce says. Byron Leftwich was not a good enough coordinator. And we saw it. Look at the offense that year. Also, the offensive line needed a major rehauling after, Jensen got hurt, Marpet retired, the O-line was in shambles. The defense that year actually wasn't that bad. The offense was terrible. And Antonio Brown wasn't there anymore. Gronk wasn't there anymore. So, we can talk about the staff all you want, but the Stanley, I'm coming off the Lightning game yesterday. The Super Bowl winning team from 2020 and in 2021, which was arguably the greatest team the franchise ever had that didn't win at all. Those were different teams than what 2022 was. And a staff can't fix the deficiencies with the personnel. And that's why we all thought in 2023 they were going to take a nosedive, and they didn't. And I do give credit to Todd for that, and I don't think a lot of people out there give him enough of it. But that does not mean that moving forward, Todd should probably be the head coach. I think the time has come.
And what's funny, Evan, is we complain as fans and in whatever league, in sports in general, that there's not enough loyalty, right? That owners aren't loyal to their coaches aren't loyal to their players, all of this stuff, right? People just move on. And now we have a situation in the NFL in Tampa Bay with the ownership group maybe being a little too loyal and not seeing the bigger picture. And I don't understand this coming from Dallas. I'm unfamiliar with an ownership group like what is happening with the family, the Glazer family in Tampa. But at some point, you're overly loyal to the detriment of your team, right? Because you start to alienate your fan base. And JP brought up, how can you see the last 4 years of this and think we should have another one? Well, I would argue you just need the last, 2.5 months of this thing to see that it's not going to work again next year. Is the ownership group that out of touch with what's happening right now?
I have more faith in the Glazers than that. It feels like it because nothing's happened quite yet. But if Todd is fired today or tomorrow, I think we're not going to be chanting the loyalty card much. The Glazers are traditionally a family because they are a family, and JP mentioned that they're going to take their time and they're going to meet with Todd, and it's a consortium of minds and people, and they run on their own timeline. They don't work under Black Monday's timeline. Right. So historically speaking, it usually takes them 1 to 3 days to make a firing. So if they do keep Todd, then we can have this conversation. I still don't think it's set in stone that Todd is going to be back next season, and I would be shocked if the Glazer family did not make a call to John Harbaugh's agent checking in as being one of those teams, right? It would be silly not to. You have to do your due diligence. There's just a difference between blind loyalty and loyalty. Right. Sure. I think Todd Bowles has had a lot of blind loyalty on his coaching staff, a lot of yes men, a lot of people that he's been around a long time, and he has no differing opinions because these are the guys he's been rolling with since his days at Temple. It's time, dude. You gotta bring in fresh minds and ideas. And look at what the Falcons did this year, right? Yeah. Raheem brought in a defensive coordinator, and with his defensive mind and somebody else's defensive mind, that defense took a big step forward. Now
and fired his good buddy Jimmy Lake, by the way.
Exactly. Right. And I think back to John Summerall's press conference when he was asked, like, "Oh, you're going to bring some friends over from Tulane?" He's like, "I don't hire my friends. All right. They're my friends, but they might not be right for the job." And they know that. He's like, "I've lost some friends because of that, but that's just a reality." And that's the mentality you have to have. Now, the Tampa Bay Lightning were loyal to John Cooper after the collapse in 2019. The difference being John Cooper won a ton of games before that, that's right, including that season, and also had a proof of product that, hey, we're going to make it to the Eastern Conference Final at least. They were knocking on the door. That's not what Todd Bowles has been doing, right? So there's a difference. If Todd Bowles had the resume of John Harbaugh after 4 or 5, John Harbaugh, 180 wins, 113 losses. If Todd Bowles had something where it was like, 45 wins and 20 losses, and just had this, this late season collapse. It was a one-off. Every other year, he's made it deep into the playoffs, hasn't knocked on the door. We'd be having a different story. But he's 35-33. He's 12-20 against teams that go to the playoffs. There's nothing that proves to me in his time that he is somebody who can win you a Super Bowl. He is a high floor coach. He will get you 7 to 11 wins. But at some point, he's going to get plucked because we have seen it time and time again. When he goes up against the brightest minds in this game, offensively speaking, he gets crushed. And that is just a fact. He's had some spurts. He's had a one game here, a one game there. The Super Bowl certainly is his top of the leaderboard moment. But, consistently speaking, he is going to get caught. And that's just what it is.
Yeah, you would talk about record. It's not like Todd Bowles hasn't been given an opportunity. Okay, he's got a record of 61-74. You want to throw out the Jets? I'm not. You were given you're the head coach. You're the head coach. It is. How much more proof?
Yeah,
how much more proof do you need?
I do take the Jets with a grain of salt, but the overall point is true because he's never had a season. The best he's ever done in terms of a midseason collapse is losing 4 or 5. With the Buccaneers, it's been at least 5 of 6. You've done that 4 straight years. We know what we're getting. We have a large enough sample size. I always talk about that all the time. We have a large enough sample size. So I have a tough time believing that some magical changes, a tinker here, a tinker there, and Todd Bowles is all of a sudden going to become a Super Bowl winning head coach. The proof is not there. The proof is he's a good coach, and he's certainly a great defensive coordinator with correct personnel around him, which is the case for a lot of coaches. But I think we know what he is as a head coach, and as an ownership group, you have to ask yourself if it's good enough. And for this team, where expectations should be higher, I would argue that. It's probably best to really see what else is out there.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. In your gut, what do you think happens?
I don't think he's going to be back.
I
still don't.
I don't know if you heard the beginning of the show, but I got some really good information last night that confirms what Rondé and Bruce Arians and what we've heard from the people that are closest to the Glazers is they love Todd Bowles and they don't want to fire him. They don't want to fire him, and they're probably not going to fire him.
And well, I haven't heard the not going to fire him, but I have heard the affinity for Todd and how much they like him, and I get that. I mean,
of course, I love the guy.
I spent 3 minutes. I did like a 7.5 minute thing about the case for and against Todd Bowles. I spent 3 minutes building that
Very
case.
Well done.
Thank you. 3 minutes building that case for Todd, and still, objectively speaking, when you come down to it, like it's in the end with that piece, it's your job to decipher which side you want to be on. For me, I have a tough time believing that I'm not on the side of I think you have to move forward, unless there is something behind the scenes where Todd Bowles was directed to do A, B, and C, and he did it, and he's the fall guy for a bunch of things that are happening. Which again, the Glazers are not pouring money into this team. That's just a reality. We get a little bit jaded on or a little bit skewed on what happened during the Tom Brady years where they went all in, and they're going to spend up to the salary cap. So next year that's probably going to be around $305 million. That's what you can expect for them to put in. They're not going to be like, look at the Eagles. Like there are a lot of teams out there who will spend over the cap, and they can manipulate that all they want to spend as much money as they want, but they're just not that team. So they know they have a coach who's not going to complain about the money being poured into the squad. They know they have a coach who can get them, to the playoffs. I mean, I really do think that in their head they were going to still make the postseason this year when all that stuff was kind of coming out and has changed. But it's just going to be hard to sell the public on this next year. I just don't know how you can bring somebody back when, right or wrong, it doesn't matter. Like significantly, this fan base does not want Todd Bowles back.
No, so it's the worst I've ever seen.
If you do bring him back, you are going to have to invest heavily in the roster for everybody to forget about the fact that Todd Bowles is the head coach. Because look, if you bring in Max Crosby and Trey Hendrickson and Nakobe Dean and you draft Sonny Styles, no one's going to give a crap that Todd Bowles is the head coach. They will if things don't get corrected. But entering the season, right? But entering the season, everyone's going to be excited, and they're going to forget about the fact that Todd's the head coach. But do the Glazers really want to invest that much into the on-field product? Which, hey, if it was a trade-off between investing heavily into the on-field product and keeping Todd Bowles or firing Todd Bowles and doing status quo, I would take Todd Bowles with the upgrades on the field. But I don't know if they're going to do that. And that's what they have to decide what they want to do. Are we going to cover up Todd Bowles with a bunch of flashy signings and trades, or are we just going to fire him? So, that's the predicament. It's not about what the Glazers want. And I think they're smart enough to know this. It's about what their fan base wants, because those are the ones that are paying the tickets. Those are the ones that are buying the suites. Those are the corporate sponsors. That's who they have to serve.
But they're ignoring it. They're ignoring it.
Seemingly, we don't know. We don't know. As I said, circle back in a week. Todd Bowles is still here. I'll change my tune. But I still believe that for right now, I think it's too early to call. Too early to call on which way they're swinging one way or the other. But you are not wrong. Like, they do love Todd Bowles. They don't want to fire him, but that doesn't mean that they won't fire him. So that's kind of where I am at.
Well, yeah, you're right. I'm there as well. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm glad that there's, that they do take their time in terms of a few days, because there is some urgency to this, obviously, with Harbaugh on the market. And
by the end of the week, they got to have an answer.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
I agree. All right. Let's switch gears here a little bit to the Tampa Bay Lightning. How'd you like that game last night?
That was a great hockey game for game 42. Woo! I mean, and again, just, for a lot of fans out there who might be just emerging right now, right? The football season is over. Let me check back into the Lightning. Like, what a game to watch. During the regular season, 82 games, it can get a little monotonous sometimes, but that one I was excited for, and it lived up to the hype. This is a great hockey team, and it's been a while since, I guess going back to 2022, been a while since I've been like, this team is in my opinion, and I don't want to mush them. I hate saying it, but like they are the best team in the Eastern Conference. I truly believe that. They are built so well. They don't even have Victor Hedman and Ryan McDonough back yet. And they just play the right way. Their structure is so sound. They are really a defense first group that has such offensive firepower, and they've hit a couple of slumps this year where the offense wasn't there. And personally, I really ignored the start of the year where they lost 6 of their first 7. I think if John can go back, and he kind of admitted it, he said, I think we entering the season weren't ready, that they didn't really push their guys during training camp with games. They went to preserve them. And you can see that in the start, but that Julian is going to make a move to tinker this team a little bit.
Yeah.
But man,
I watch it now.
It is one of those things where, do you want to mess with a good thing? They probably they do need somebody. I would still like to see a better body on the top power play than Bjorkstrand, though the power play has looked significantly better recently.
Yeah, with Darren Radish at the point.
Well, I mean, all of a sudden,
Victor Hedman ain't taking that spot back. There's no way. This
guy is prime Victor Hedman right now. It's crazy.
Good
I mean,
God.
the Darren Radish started the year, and it was like, this guy is going to get released. That's how bad he was. Yeah. He was like awful. And for him to do what he's doing right now, it's like I laugh. I'm like, this is crazy. This is crazy stuff.
Insane. It's one of the greatest stories in hockey this year that nobody's talking about but us here in Tampa Bay. It's bananas.
And the money he's going to make, and a lot of fans I hear all the time, like, we got to sign Radish. And I try to explain, like, it's not a matter of the Bolts wanting Radish. He might have priced himself out of the Bolts. Like the contract that could be coming his way could be extravagant, because a lot of teams, like, his value, I mean, we're talking around, like, with the salary cap going up, and the Bolts have the money, but you have to also remember that other teams have the money and probably more money right now.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, he's probably right now in the 5 to 6, 6.5 AAV range, and that could keep climbing. What if they go win the Stanley Cup? And he's a big part of that. That's going to be like 8 AAV. And for a 30-year-old defenseman who had a crazy season, I don't know if, and you have Victor Hedman on the books for another 3 years. I didn't see that one coming, but holy smokes, what an impact he has had.
Yeah, that I wouldn't even call it a resurrection, because he wasn't even breathing.
He was a healthy scratch last year. Like, this was a guy who was he was a rotational piece starting the year. I remember watching, going, like, looking at his analytical numbers, bad. He looked slow. It was like, I really do think they're going to release him or send him to to Syracuse. And I give the dude so much credit.
And it's I didn't see this coming. It's not just a shot. He's playing well defensively. He's doing everything right. And just, boy, confidence can really change things. And plus, a 103-mile-an-hour shot doesn't hurt you. That's for damn sure. Yeah. Hey, real quick, we're going to be talking some college football here in the second half. We're going to get to all your comments as well, kids out there. Thank you guys for jumping in the comments. USF is it's an interesting time. They have a great hire in Brian Hartline. And they're bringing in, I think they have a top 15 portal class already signed in, and that's fantastic. I just hate the fact that, you're going to have to watch Byron Brown and the entire USF team play for Auburn next year in goalish. It sucks. It's just college football right now. It just sucks. It does. Especially for the teams like USF.
Yeah, no, it's terrible. And that's just sort of the nature of the business, which, for every USF fan out there, I empathize with you 1,000%, because, you had a great coach, he brought in great players, and then he took them all. And, not everyone is like John Summerall, who's taking some Tulane people, because those players want to play for him, which is understandable. But, he's not actively recruiting his old talent. You look at Damon Williams there for Washington. He signed I've seen around a $4 or $5 million deal, and then just still entered the portal anyway. And now Washington is pursuing legal action to keep and it's the Wild Wild West. At some point, I've said this before. Like, college football wants to act like a big boy product. They are so far from a big boy product. This is just a bunch of adults who are so scared to put any sort of perimeter around their product because they want to be the ones to exploit whatever is going on.
Yeah, they're all in their self-interest. There's nobody looking after the collective.
Correct. And that, look, the NFL, they're all in it together. All those owners, they all, they get the TV money together. They have the salary cap. They do things to where they coexist. And in college football, you have to learn that you have to coexist and you have to look out for the product because nobody understands that. Look, Miami, when you get down to the playoffs, people are going to be interested. If you went to Miami, this or that, you're going to watch. Totally get it. Viewership is going to be there. But in the end, the product and what your foundation is, people are just going to stop caring. They will. They will simply just worry about the NFL Sundays, and they'll spend their Saturdays with their family. They'll check in randomly with their teams. They'll make their bets. They'll call it good. It's not a good way to build a product, and you need loyalty. You need loyalty from your fan bases.
And it's not just all the crap going on with the portal and paying players and coaches and players going everywhere. They've about doubled or tripled the price for the fan. Because all this money that they're spending, they went to the fan to get it. They didn't take it from bloated administrative contracts and any of that. They looked for more corporate sponsorships. They went right to their fans and said, "Okay, you're going to have to pony up more." And that's bullshit. That's bullshit.
I don't even know where. Like, I don't know why things are like. It is literally just all hubris. Like, what are these donors getting? Like, Texas Tech is going to pay their quarterback, $6 million? For what? For what? What are you getting just to try to win a national championship? Like, it's literally it's millionaire and billionaire playground. It's all it is. Just on 18 to 25-year-old kids now. It's stupid. There's no leadership. That's why a bunch of coaches who are the wise ones are searching for help from Congress, from anybody, because it is the wild, wild west out there. And if I went up to a USF fan today and I said, "Do you know who's going to be on your 2026 football team?" It's sad to know that they're going to probably answer no. They're going to say Byron Brown. I'm like, "Nah, he's gone." Keyshawn Singleton, nah, he's gone. Chaz Nimrod, nah, he's gone. So it's just like, it's tough, and it's tough to build a brand when if you were rooting for the Buccaneers, it's tough to really be invested in the Buccaneers. If I presented this 2025 team to you this year, and then next year only 3 guys remained, and it was a totally different crop of people. It's like that's the world. Yeah,
unsustainable. All right, Evan, great stuff as always, my friend. Appreciate your reasoned, wonderful takes, as opposed to my emotional bents. Awful. But thank you.
I try. I'm not always right, though, so who knows?
None of us are. Tell everybody what's going on at Tampa Bay 10, what you got coming up. And by the way, if you haven't seen, where can they see your Todd Bowles pros and cons?
Yeah, we have that. That's on our website, 10tampabay.com. It's also on my Twitter at eklosky, WTSP. It's also on our YouTube page, 10 Tampa Bay. And you can also download our 10 Tampa Bay news app, which will have that article in there as well. But anything that we kind of have our hands on, it is existing in that world. And then, you can catch any of our sportscasts on the 10 Tampa Bay news app. And also we will run one final episode of The Blitz this weekend, just putting a bow on the year. And it's interesting producing that content because I'm waiting to see if Todd Bowles is going to get fired or not. And I have no, because the show is going to change dramatically. So for my sake, for everyone out there, I just want resolution as soon as possible. So I'm in your camp.
All right. Thanks, Evan. Appreciate you, buddy. All right.
See you, man. As always.
We got to take a break. We're way over, but this is a big day. And by the way, we got to thank all of our sponsors that you see there at the bottom, because they allow us the latitude to do an hour straight when we've got a big news day like this today, and we really appreciate that. We're going to get all the spots in, but we thank them, and that's Riveters. Great place to watch your games, folks. Go in there and say, "Hey, thank you for supporting the JP Peterson Show. We love it. Give me some of that hazy IPA because it's awesome." Italiano Insurance, they've been with us for 20 years now. Jeff Italiano and everybody over there. Charity is the best customer service rep you'll ever see in your life. Give them a call, 813-877-7799. Gold and Diamond Source thereafter. Christmas sale is on, folks. It's always a great time to buy. So get those gift cards that you got and bring them on in there and Spend. They got some great deals going on right now. Third Generation Plumbing, Cafe Paradiso. Saw Paulo last night. Great dude. Love that restaurant. If you're looking for a great meal at a reasonable price and a phenomenal atmosphere, it's Cafe Paradiso. They do it old style, folks. All our great sponsors, Genesis of Tampa, Kingmakers. We love you guys. And of course, don'tgouncovered.com. Oh, we got them all in. Back in 3. Genesis of Tampa, they got some serious going on this Christmas. It's the Miracle Holiday Sales Event and their 30 days of giving. First, for any new vehicle in the month of December sold, first payment will be deferred 90 days, and then the dealership will make the first payment up to $500. That can save you a lot of cash that you can use for Christmas shopping. And every day in December, they're giving away a $500 shopping spree. All you got to do is have your car appraised, and you get an entry into the daily drawing for the $500 shopping spree. And every weekend day in December, customers simply need to stop by the dealership, scan the QR code, and they get an entry into the $500 shopping spree contest. No purchase necessary. Test drive a vehicle, and we will 10x your entry into the shopping spree. Christmas and New Year's Eve, each holiday, if a customer books a test drive for the specified day, they will receive a themed t-shirt, limited edition, as well as an additional $250 off the purchase price. Bottom line is, get your butt and your sleigh down to Genesis of Tampa, 801 East Bears Avenue, just off 275. It's going to be a big Christmas at Genesis of Tampa. Italiano Insurance would like to congratulate the Bucs on their 50th anniversary season. And you know what? We've been here for every season and then some, over 60 years in business. We've seen some smart coaches with great game plans, but if you don't have flood insurance or business insurance, that's a terrible game plan. That could ruin you financially. You don't want to take that L. So call 813-877-7799 and let their friendly agents quarterback your insurance and save you big money. Italiano also sponsors our FSU report every week, so go Noles. 813-877-7799 or go to ItalianoInsurance.com. JP here for Riveters, the official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. We're located just south of Ray J and Steinbrenner Field, so it's a great pre- and post-game spot, and the happy hour is amazing. Monday through Friday, 3 to 7. Check out these specials. $3 Bud Light drafts, $4 domestic bottles, $5 wells, $6 premium wells, $6 cocktails like margaritas. That's unheard of. And the Riveters food is freshly made daily. No freezers. Happy hour food specials include $3.50 tacos and barbecue sliders. $6 you get edamame or chips with the beer cheese, which is amazing. $8 buffalo chicken dip, my favorite. The truffle fries, chili cheese fries, also $8 at happy hour. As well as other specials throughout the week, including Taco Tuesdays, you get $3 tacos, and Wing Wednesdays, 7 o'clock to 1 a.m. in the morning, you get our amazing wings, 5 for $5 and $5 wells and wines. That's a good Wednesday night. So if you're tired of the preppy, overpriced generic sports bars, come see the amazing, friendly bartenders and staff at Riveters, where customer service really matters. Riveters, just south of where the Rays and Bucs play. We'll see you there. Although it may seem tempting to go without health care insurance, the financial risk far outweighs the gain you may experience. For example, did you know if you simply broke your leg, it could cost you nearly $7,500? Put on top of that a hospital stay, you could be looking at $10,000 to $15,000. Ensuring that you don't go uncovered is so important, as according to CNBC, high medical bills are the highest contributing factor to why Americans end up taking money out of their retirement savings, or worse, find themselves filing bankruptcy. So go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. Now, depending on your income, you can get plans for zero premium. Our experts will guide you through the process effortlessly. They will shop many plans and find the one that's right for you. I called and I have full health coverage through Florida Blue for zero monthly premium. It's a free call. So why go uncovered? It's a huge risk. Go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. That's 800-669-1505. Hey, JP here for my concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. You've heard him on the show for a couple of years, where he shares invaluable medical, nutritional, and supplement advice. With Chris, it's like having a medical provider as your best friend. What I love about this concierge service is the convenience and support he offers. I can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required. It gives me peace of mind knowing I have someone genuinely invested in my health, not just focused on insurance profits. And the best part, the Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health care. Take control of your health and wellness today. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself and take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Riveters, our favorite and official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. Great folks over there. Always something going on, and if you're headed over to Raymond James for any of the upcoming concerts, always a great place to tailgate pregame with the great micro brews that they have there and their fantastic food. The wings are absolutely the best in town. Love them. So head on over to Riveters and tell them JP sent you. All right,
JP,
Timmy.
you want a little, before we get into some Hula Bowl talk with Brett, who I believe is coming on shortly. I haven't heard from him to confirm, but I think he's coming on still.
Yeah.
You want to hear a little bit of what my night was last night?
Sure.
Some college basketball. So most
Did
people
you go
know
to a
I
college
cover
basketball game?
No, I didn't go, but most people know I cover Longhorns, Aggies, and the Red Raiders for both FanStream Sports and the Roundtable website. And so they all played at the same time last night. So I'm trying to watch 3 basketball games so I can intelligently write about them, right? And they're all finishing up about the same time. I saw the most insane finish as the Aggies were in Auburn at the Jungle, playing against Auburn at Neville Arena. And I want to share with you the finish. So the Aggies were down 16 early in the game.
Okay.
Came back, hit like 9 consecutive 3-pointers in the second half.
Oh, they can shoot the 3. I saw that my own eyes.
Yeah, at various times. And then we get down to it, and Auburn is down 2, 90-88, with 0.6 seconds left on the clock.
Okay.
It's enough time to get a shot off, right? Now they are inbounding at midcourt.
Yep.
And it goes something like this.
Got to be careful here.
Midcourt.
Comes in for the win. Good if it goes.
Oh!
He got it! Unreal!
So Auburn's going nuts.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. Oh, but wait, JP. There's a review to make sure he got the ball off in time.
Of course, there's a review.
And I'm telling you, it was the closest of close that I have ever seen in a basketball review. He did not get the shot off in time. So the referee is at half court, right at the table with his headset on.
I heard him blowing the whistle. They were
Yeah,
like, game's not over, game's not over. I got to insert myself in this wonderful celebration that all the fans who paid money here are enjoying. Let me insert myself into this.
Exactly.
And
rightfully so. But here's the issue.
no, not rightfully so. I disagree.
So here's the thing, though. Yeah, he's at the table with literally the jungle's going nuts, right?
Yeah.
He puts the headset down. He looks at his referee friend over here, kind of with his sly grin, and he turns around. No good. And he walks off the court with Steve Pearlman, the coach of Auburn, like going nuts in his face, right?
Yeah, as he should.
But as we're watching the review on TV, it looks like he did get it off in time, like by the narrowest of margins. But then they show another angle, and you're looking at this from behind him where you can see the clock on the basket, right?
Right.
According to that, he did not get the shot off in time.
Well,
Here's the issue. The clocks were not synced. The clock in the arena is not official. The clock on the scoreboard is official, and they were a couple of ticks off. So if you're looking at from the scoreboard clock, he did not get it off. If you're looking at it from the game
the clock behind the basket was not synced with the one on the Jumbotron.
Right, but the one on the Jumbotron is not official. It's the clock behind the basket. I didn't know we had 2 clocks. Like, that was all news to me. Because if you look at it from the TV angle, it left his fingers a tick before the clock expired. If you look at the game clock behind the basket, it left a tick after the game clock expired. So controversy at the Jungle.
Holy.
And then, so
that just sucks. So the game administration folks screwed it up.
Yeah.
And it sucks for the players and every person in that arena that paid big money to go to this game, and may affect jobs, seating, all that stuff.
Right. So here's another thing that's fun.
I officially hate replay.
So the Aggies have a new basketball coach this year, as Buzz has moved on. Thinking with the Maryland, but the coach's name of the Aggies, JP. So I constantly write Buccaneers stuff all day, right? I write Bucky Irving constantly. I write Jalen McMillan constantly in my articles, right? So I've got Bucky Irving and Jalen McMillan in my brain.
Right.
The Aggies' new coach is named Bucky McMillan. So I'm writing articles about Aggies basketball, and I have to catch myself constantly because I will automatically type Bucky Irving.
Right.
And I also published a story yesterday that Bucky Irving, the coach of the Texas A&M Aggies men's basketball team, which would have confused a lot of people, like, wow, he plays football and coaches?
No, he does not.
Yeah, but dude, it was an insane finish. Of course, my heart sank as an Aggie. You know, I'm like, oh, man, but what a great game. And then I saw the replay, and the referee just did this. And, man, the crowd just went silent. It was nuts.
God, they went silent. I think they'd go bananas.
Can you imagine if that was a tournament game and the loser goes home and something like that happens?
Yeah, they got to fix that for sure. All right, let's get to these comments. Michael LaRue, the Bucs aren't aggressively pursuing John Harbaugh with Todd Monken as offense coordinator. Then they're settling for mediocrity, and they're not truly serious about competing for championships. 100% agree. John Harbaugh's daughter plays lacrosse at USF. What?
True story.
What?
Wow. By the way, did you see the news coming out of NBC Sports last night? I don't know.
You want to be a bad dad? Go to New York instead of Tampa. You want to be a bad dad, John Harbaugh?
So John Harbaugh's agent confirmed yesterday afternoon or last night that of all the teams that have reached out to Harbaugh for an interview, there was one team that reached out that does not yet have a head coach opening.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that.
Could it be the Bucs?
Or the Dolphins?
I don't think he's going anywhere.
Michael LaRue also says the Glazers like Todd. Todd and Light like their players, but the fans don't like Todd, and they're frustrated with a lot of the players. Malcolm Glazer never would have tolerated this level of mediocrity. Hear that a lot.
Is that true? Do you agree with that? I mean, I didn't know. I wasn't there when Malcolm was around, but
I do. I do agree with that. And I agree with that because it's proof. It's proven.
Yeah.
I got proof. They fired one of the most popular coaches in the history of the Buccaneers, and Tony Dungy, who had a much better record and was a much better coach than Todd Bowles. And Malcolm fired him and gave up 2 1s and 2 2s and $8 million to get John Gruden and won a Super Bowl. So
do you think
I don't have to guess.
Do you think he ever regretted that? I mean, I know he got the Super Bowl out of it, but things did not always go smoothly with John Gruden.
Hell no.
There were no regrets because of the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, once you get the Lombardi changes everything.
Sure.
Especially for the franchise of the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
It changed the city.
Be like the Browns winning a Super Bowl.
It literally changed the city because you are, like it or not, your city is basically your reputation, and your city's reputation is built on sports teams for the most part because they're the most public thing that you do under that banner, right? For the most part. And Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers were a laughingstock, a complete freaking laughingstock. They were the butt of Johnny Carson jokes. Even though they went for an expansion team, they got to the the NFC Championship game in 4 years. So, but it's the 0-26 that will always that was our reputation until we won the Lombardi, and that changed everything. Real estate prices went through the roof. That was the boom. It changed the entire city. So no,
That 79 NFC championship game against the Rams never even really bought time because the team got really bad again after that, right?
Well, no, they went to the playoffs the next year, but then they got rid of Doug Williams.
Right. And after Williams left over
the racist owner got rid of Doug Williams. Yeah, exactly.
That's so insane to me, man. I can't even imagine.
Bucs Skull Gang says we need Bowles gone because the window is open. Also says, in my honest opinion, I think they keep him. Bantry, not to rain on anyone's boat parade, but there is that little thing called the Rooney that has to be met. It's more than just fire Bowles and hire Harbaugh. Totally agree. And
yeah, but that's a joke. It's a joke. It's not real.
Circumvented all
the Rooney rule is not a real thing.
Yeah, and that's the worst part about it is they'll just, like all teams do, they'll do some ceremonial, and I don't mean this in a pejorative way to Raheem Morris, but they're going to interview Raheem and whichever minority they can find, just so they can go hire whoever they want.
Or you can satisfy
Which is why the coaches
rule.
hate the rule.
Yeah, you can satisfy that rule by hiring an internal candidate. You've got a guy on staff that satisfies the minority designation. You can fake interview him for the head coaching job, and you've satisfied that. It's a joke.
Captain K says, JP, the Bucs better have Harbaugh on speed dial. He fits the description of a leader of men. He does indeed. Bucs Skull Gang says, looks like he's going to the Falcons or the Giants. And by the way, Harbaugh is not the only guy out there that I think would be a good fit for the Buccaneers.
Guess who else is interviewing for the Giants job?
Who's that?
Mike McCarthy and Jason Garrett are both interviewing. That. Yes.
You want to hire Jason Garrett?
Nope. I don't even like him as an analyst on TV.
JS813 guy says, I think the Bucs should try to get Marco Rubio for head ball coach. The guy can do everything else. He's telling us about the aliens and kicking ass on the world stage. Love it. Yeah, America's back. Harbaugh to Atlanta would suck big time. We'll get ready. As Arthur Blank is serious. He wasn't putting up with mediocrity, was he?
No.
Nope.
I'm surprised Morris got 2 years, to be honest with you.
No, I'm surprised he got fired. I am.
How? Why?
Because typically you're going to get 3 years. Most new coaches will get, 3 years. And I thought, he showed at the end of the season, they showed some life.
When
they
it
were
didn't
probably
matter
the best
anymore.
team. Yeah, exactly. Those are always kind of iffy, wins, but they went out and got some good wins, and they played hard. They really did.
Yeah.
And he was willing to fire his buddy Jimmy Lake. So I was a little surprised at that. But why Raheem was fired? Because the fan base was in full revolt.
I mean, sometimes you got to listen to your fans. Not all the time.
I was speaking to some of my Atlanta colleagues, and that's what they told me. It's like, and a couple of them work for the team, and they were like I think he's doing a pretty good job. He needs some more time, but he's not going to get it because the fan base is in total revolt. And I think the Glazers know that. Well, they have to know it, but I think it's not that they don't care.
It's a family business,
but I think they have other. I can't say this.
Priorities.
Yeah, maybe that might be good way to put it. They're invested in time. They're invested. They love the guy, love him.
So then you can still love the guy as an ownership family, and not fire him, but reassign him. We want you to be a consultant. We don't want you to coach anymore, but we still want you in the organization. I
just don't think you can make these. You don't like Evan said about Summerall. I don't hire my friends, and I don't keep my friends employed because I like them in this business. You can't do that.
But that's kind of what the Glazers are doing right now.
Seems so. They might argue with that, but it seems to me that. Bucs Basement says Harbaugh or Stefanski would take this job. And as for Stefanski, I'd tell Baker to suck it up and get over it. Shit happens in the past. You move forward, and winning heals all wounds. Yeah, I mean, that's a very personal thing. You got to have the coach and the quarterback on the same page. Not only on the same page, but they got to like each other, especially if he's going to be your offensive coordinator and calling the plays. You guys got to be bosom buddies. And if you're not, to start with, that's just a bad idea. And I'm not saying they are. I don't know. I don't know what their relationship is. Stefanski has said the Deshaun Watson thing was not his idea. And I don't think it was, because that just reeks of a stupid ass Jimmy Haslam ownership move. I think Stefanski's too smart to ever to do that. So yeah. James says Harbaugh is a perfect fit in TPA. A true leader, special teams background, always high. Oh, forgot about that. Special teams will be fixed. Yeah, that's for sure. He wouldn't be putting up with that shit. That's for damn sure. Always hires great DCs and OCs. Seattle head coach from Baltimore. What more do Bucs need? Make him the highest paid head coach and let's go. Here's your opportunity to do your Malcolm move, guys. If you're, and obviously they I wouldn't call Bruce Arians a Malcolm move. That was a great move, but it wasn't like, they went out and, gave up 2 1s and 2 2s to get Bruce Arians. They had a general manager who had a personal relationship with him and everything fell into place.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call that a bold move. If you want to do a Malcolm move, you go get John Harbaugh and make him the highest paid coach in the league. And you say, I want your toast, and your OC is going to be a package deal. Because Harbaugh and Monken together, well, with their pre-existing relationships with Baker, I mean, you fix the special teams right away. You go and hire a great young DC who's up and coming and brings some fire and some energy to this defense, and then you got Monken as the OC. And I mean, come on. It's just like, what are you talking about? What are we even talking about? Harbaugh, Monken, Baker, Mike Evans. I don't think Mike Evans comes back if Bowles is the head coach. And I don't think, and that's not that he doesn't like Todd. It's just, he's seen it.
He's tired of
Why would he come back?
mediocrity.
You got 2 targets in the last game because your head coach is not even calling timeouts at the end of the first half to throw the football. Too afraid to throw the football. Get out of here. There should be more talk about that. That to me is a fireable offense. And it happens all the time.
Well, you have a defensive head coach.
Yeah, but also you have a clock management guy that you hired. What is B-Spine doing?
Yeah.
What is he doing? He was directing that 2-minute?
Maybe he called in sick that day.
All right, we got a super chat. How do I put that up here? Meets McGee.
Click on it.
I'm clicking on it. We don't know what the Glazers are going to do. The siblings got to agree on Todd. I believe they want John Harbaugh. I think they're waiting on John's decision. There's a lot there. They have to first decide they're going to fire Todd. That's the first thing they got to do.
Did you get these other super chats already?
No, I did not. I didn't see him. Go ahead, pop them up.
Let's see, Mr. King, $2. Thank you, Mr. King. Why would John change their mind? Todd Bowles 2026.
Why would John Harbaugh being available change their mind? Do I even need to ask that question?
It should, but will it?
We've already answered it. So.
Yeah. Kings $2. Whoops, same one. Sorry. Bowles will be fired next year. Waste a year.
Yeah.
And then he also throws in for another $2. Thank God I canceled my season tickets.
Wow. There we go.
It's happening.
No. But again, they'll sell the tickets. The tickets will be sold. Most of the season ticket members are probably all renewed. Most except Bucs basement. But they'll sell the tickets, and then those tickets will be sold to other fans from out of town. And you'll have a full bowl of Pittsburgh Steelers fans.
Joel Forsland said Harbaugh in Tampa doesn't fix the new OC every year problem. You know what? I kind of think it does.
Well, Monken's been with him a while, right?
He's got Monken, who probably won't. He'll get looks, but I don't think he'll get a head coaching job. He also has a plethora of offensive coordinators in his Rolodex, far beyond what Todd Bowles has access to.
Yeah, that's the thing with John Harbaugh. He is well respected in the NFL and makes great choices. Makes great choices in personnel, makes great choices in who he hires, and that's how you win that much over that long. And who knows how much better he'll be in a new situation.
Yeah.
He'll be renewed. 18 years in one place is a long time. It brings new energy. And he doesn't strike me as a guy, how old is he? He's in his early 60s.
Who's that?
I think John Harbaugh.
Oh, he has to be, right.
I want to say 60. I think he's
63.
63. Yeah. He's old then.
He's 30 years older than me.
Get out of here. Should you tell your girlfriend? JS813 says, since 2021, the NFL required every team to interview at least 2 external minority candidates for open head coaching GM positions and at least 2 external minority candidates for a coordinator job. Yeah, we know this, and everybody makes a mockery.
Everybody technically does it, but it's a mockery.
Yeah. Bantry says, I don't know, Kings. Atlanta's a pretty attractive too. What if Atlanta says he can pick his own GM like the Jags did with Liam? Good point. Although I don't think John Harbaugh would have a problem with Jason Light. He's very well respected in this league. I don't think that would be an issue at all. James says, you can't tell Bowles to be a walk-around head coach. That won't work. Harbaugh has always been a walk-around CEO type HC. Make the move. Stop pussyfooting around. Yeah, the whole walk-around Bowles thing makes 0 sense. 0 sense on every single level. I don't even know why we talk about it. I guess it's an option. So you're gonna make him fire his staff, but he's still gonna be directing. So we're bringing in a whole new defense, and he's gonna have a whole new offense. What is he doing? What is he there? He's just a figurehead. He's a terrible game manager. Terrible. Look at the one-score game records. This stuff is documented. If you haven't seen it with your own eyes, like we all have, it was abomination at the end of the first half. And it happens all the time. All the freaking time. At elementary mistakes. And they hired a clock management guy. I mean, how much more stuff do we have to cover for until you go, you know what? Maybe we should just fire the head coach. I mean, it's almost silly. It's almost silly. How's the toe, JP? My toe hurts. I'm sick. I got a sore throat. I got a headache.
Look, Bantry, don't open that can of worms. We don't have time for this. All right.
I had surgery 2 weeks ago. I'm still dealing with. And I'm here. I posted today, boys and girls, because I love you guys that much. I love local sports that much. I posted today. I have no business being here.
JP, another super chat. Beats McGee says, I'll take Wink Martindale as DC. Well, that's kind of up to whoever you hire as head coach. And if John Harbaugh is your head coach, that's an extreme possibility because they work well together.
Yeah. Oh, can you imagine?
By the way,
a breath of fresh air.
Let me ask you this, JP. We all know who the real Wink Martindale is, right? Game show host.
Oh, yeah.
Used to be a DJ. So, Wink Martindale, the DC, his name is Don Martindale. But he gets called Wink Martindale because of the game show host. And it's become his name. Like, how would you feel about that? I'm not so sure. Mr. King. Oh, go ahead.
Jason Light and Todd Bowles are great guys, says Bonaventure 253. But if Harbaugh wants to pick his own GM, you let him do what he wants. Give Harbaugh the keys to the team now. The thing about that is the Glazers really like and trust Jason Light. And I think he's earned more time. I think he's earned that. And he's pretty good at picking coaches because when he picked the last one, he found Bruce Arians, brought him out of retirement. And the Glazers should listen to Jason Light. I don't want to speak for Jason, but he's been pretty quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's for a reason.
They pay him to make those decisions. And if that's his decision, they need to roll with it.
Look, where is he?
Yeah.
I haven't seen him do any media. I think he does something on the radio network before the games but outside of that, I haven't seen Jason. And I think it's because
there's a disconnect there.
Yeah. By the way, this just came in. Evidently, Bowles didn't end up appearing on his show last night, according to WDAE.
Bucs show?
Access, yeah. Well, actually, according to Casey Shaw, I guess I don't know, but Scott Reynolds sent this to me, and I said, "Is this confirmed?" because I'd heard that he did do his show. But there are some reports going around that he did not do his show.
Well, I mean, it's easy to confirm if he did or didn't, right? I mean, they published the show.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't go on the web. Go on the website and see if he showed up.
Mr. King, another super chat, JP, $2. Game choker extraordinaire John Harbaugh, that guy? Disagree with that 100%.
Game choker?
That's what he's considered in Baltimore by the fans. But I will tell you this, as being close to the team as long as I was, John Harbaugh, like many coaches, cannot play. He doesn't go on the field and throw interceptions. Or he doesn't go on the field and take sacks. All right. He's got a running back playing quarterback for him. He can't go play quarterback. And look, I love Lamar Jackson, and he showed, and yes, 2-time MVP. I get it. Heisman Trophy winner. I get it. Lamar Jackson should be playing running back in this league. About 3 passes out of 20 does he show that he is an elite quarterback. The other 17, I could make those throws.
Well, listen, you watch a lot more Baltimore Ravens football than I have. My sense of Lamar Jackson is I think he's a better passer than that. I think he's a damn good quarterback.
I think at times he is, but inexplicably, he has flashes of, oh my God, what was that?
He played pretty well in that game against Pittsburgh, I thought.
He did. Dude, he made some amazing throws in that game. I will give him credit when he's good. But there are also times that Lamar Jackson will check out of a game on you.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. What else we got here? We got so many here to get to.
I don't know. I can't get a hold of our guests, so I guess that's
okay.
Not happening.
Well, good. Well, not good. We'll get them on, but this is we really need to get to these, and Trey Watson's going to be joining us here in a little bit as well. We'll take a break, but we got another 10 minutes to hear. So Scott Valdez says, I'm beginning to shift my blame onto the Glazers if they don't make the move. Hard not to. At some point, it's not Todd Bowles' fault. He's doing the best he can, and the best he can is just mediocre. And if that's what you aspire to, if you're okay just with that, as Evan said, he's got a very high floor, but his ceiling is very low. We know what it is. It's 8-9. It's 9-8, losing first round. That's what it is. And listen, for some ownership groups, that works. I wouldn't want to be a fan of a team like that.
No.
JS813 says, but Light hasn't drafted a Pro Bowler in 6 years. I don't think that's accurate. We the Thunder said, yes, Bolts talk. What a game last night. The guy on Lightning Hockey Night Live wasn't too shabby either. Oh, he's talking about me. Gentlemen. Yeah, we are not, and I apologize for this. We did talk some Lightning, and we could do an hour on that game last night and what the Lightning are doing. And I promise you we'll get to that. This is just a little bit, the Bucs thing is really, really urgent. And I apologize to all Lightning fans, and we need to be doing more of it. But it was a fantastic game last night. A great crowd, by the way. Great crowd. It was every bit a playoff game last night.
Yeah.
And if that's the Stanley Cup final, boy, it is going to be fantastic. I mean, look at the McKinnon, Cale Makar, Kucherov just doing his thing last night. I mean, Kucherov, #1 star again this week. He's had 46 points in his last 23 games. Another 2-point game last night. 300 multi-point games in his career. 300 multi-point games. Let me say that again. Wow, what a player! And I just
but JP, how many Stanley Cups did John Cooper win as a player? He can't know the game. He never played.
Yeah, how about that? His journey is so special. Yeah, it needs to be a 30-30 done on him. And by the way, his work in the community is completely undersold. And it's not just because, the Coops Catch thing is amazing. They've raised $1.6 million, I think, in the last few years for pediatric cancer research. But it's so much more than that. There are so many of these young kids, and it was a heart-wrenching video that we did last night about one of the young kids that John befriended. He's such a cute little kid who had cancer. By the way, thank you to RFK Jr. taking the vaccine schedule from 72 to 11. So maybe we won't have so many kids dying of cancer.
Yeah.
Fucking pisses me off.
And autism and
all brutal.
Ugh.
Anyway,
Let's
so
experiment
this
on our
young
kids. It's a great idea.
And every time I see a kid with, a child with cancer, we never had childhood cancer until this bullshit started.
Last 30 years, yeah.
Never.
30, 40 years.
This is not. But anyway, but to see these young kids, and that one in particular, that John really became close to, and Weston, who presented him with his one of the gifts last night. I've known, I did a fashion show with him for pediatric cancer research. God, it has to be 10 years ago now, when he was going through his chemo. And I don't think he had met John Cooper by that time, and he met John, and they have become like lifelong buddies. So it's not just something that it's my Coops catch day, I'm going to go punch the clock and show up for the cameras and, we'll raise a lot of money. No, it becomes part of John's life, these kids. And they become friends, and it's amazing what he does. And so much of it is behind the scenes. You'll never see it. You'll never hear of it. He doesn't want cameras around when he does it. But the impact that he's made on lives, I get choked up, even thinking about it, to be quite honest. I really do.
And you know why you don't hear about things like that, JP? Because usually they don't want you to hear about things like that. They don't do that for PR. They do that because that's who they are.
Yeah.
And when you do hear about it, sometimes they shy away from even acknowledging or talking about it, because that's not why they do it.
Yeah. Let's see here. Bucs Spaceman says, can we talk about the Bucs? Love the Lightning, but the Bucs thing is more important, right? I get it out of here. We do a little bit of it. Joel Forsler says, this Bolts team reminds me of our teams right before we won the Cup. Young and underestimated, but fight hard every game. Yeah, the enthusiasm of youth is spectacular, and I think it has really, really helped this team tremendously. Yanni Gord being healthy. That line last night of Gord and Holmberg and Gergensons just frustrated McKinnon. And when you have a line like, and they scored the tying goal, when you have a line like that, that frees up the other lines to go do their thing, and they don't have to worry about shutting down the number one line. That's what makes you a great hockey team. That's what we had when we won the Cup with Coleman, Goudreau, and Gordo. That's whew, man, and I think we're getting that again. James says, I heard the Baltimore players don't want Harbaugh. What a joke Baltimore loser players are. You just lost a great coach. Well, I hope I hope he comes to the Bucs, and he's not. Is he a player's coach? I mean, is that a moniker you would put on Harbaugh?
Yes.
Well, he works their ass off.
Yep. But he's very well respected among the players. And that's part of why.
Yeah. Winning is not happenstance. By 18 years, you don't have that record by happenstance. Aviation says, I'd take Stefanski over Harbaugh. Your thoughts, Tim?
What team? For the Bucs?
The Bucs. Yeah.
I'd be happy with either one. But if I had my choice, I would probably take Harbaugh first.
Yeah.
Just because of the experience.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, there's nothing wrong with Kevin Stefanski. He is a very quarterback-friendly dude. And I think him and Baker, I know they have their history, and I've heard what you've said, but Baker's struggles in Cleveland weren't because of Kevin Stefanski.
Right. That's organization.
It was Andrew Berry, the GM that somehow still has his job in Cleveland.
Let's see. David Melnick, welcome in, my friend. Says Bucs will be stupid to not even try to get Harbaugh. Yeah, it's malfeasance if you don't make a shot at that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean, and we don't know if he'd want to come here. He may have a deal already with somebody else. He didn't want to leave Baltimore, though. That's
clear. The fact that all of these other teams have reached out to him should tell you something if you're the Glazers. Like, wait, why do all these other teams want him and we don't? There must be something wrong here.
I just can't imagine how you could, as an owner of the team, think that you'd be better in this situation, especially. It's like you gave Todd, like the Glazers should be happy that they gave Todd a shot. They gave him everything he needed. And it just hasn't been good enough. I mean, if you're thinking that, man, we needed to give him more of an opportunity. 4 years as the head coach, I think that's plenty of opportunity. He just didn't get it done. And
if you saw signs last year of improvement or things trending in the right direction, then you can give a guy another year and give him some more time. But it's been quite the opposite. It was a huge regression last season from an already mediocre starting point.
But here's the thing. You were 6-2.
Yeah. And what happened after that?
And that's, I mean, you gave them 8 days off for the bye week. And after the bye week, they were shit.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
When you give them, you get away from football that long, you lose your muscle memory. And I mean, like when the difference between a pick six and a 20-yard completion is about that big, for the radio listeners or podcasters, I got my hands about 3 inches apart. Is that 3 inches?
What she
Wow.
said.
That's what I told my wife.
Yeah, impressed.
It just, if you don't practice, you're going to play like shit. And that's exactly what they did. This is not rocket science. And when your players are coming out and saying it, come on now. Play Blues Wolf says fans are like being married, complain about everything, satisfied with nothing, no matter how big the diamond or the bank account. Well, you got a bad wife then, bro.
Everyone does, except for you, JP.
That's right. I got the greatest wife ever.
I've seen those breakfasts.
Listen, there's always going to be fans that, are bitching and moaning. As Joel Forsland said, when, the Lightning lose 4 or 5 in a row, there are people saying fire Cooper. But, yeah, so there's always going to be that. But if the Glazers think that's what this is, they're not paying attention. I mean, you can go, and I did this last night as kind of a little tally, so to speak. I mean, I know every day in our comment section, it's 98% or 99%. Does anybody say anything positive about Todd? And I think there's one guy in here that said something positive about Todd. But you go on Twitter, you go on Bucs website, you go on anywhere where comments are allowed, it's 99%. It's not 80, it's not 70. It's 99%. And I said this the other day. I talked to a bunch of the old heads in the press box the other day. We're just like kicking it around. I'm like, have you guys ever seen it this bad, this toxic with the fan base? And they're like, no, not even with Schiano. Because even with Schiano, there was a time of like, there was a lot of like, who cares about the Bucs right now? They're just awful. So there wasn't, but now you've got a fan base that's engaged. I mean, this is the golden era of Bucs football. You got a huge fan base that's really engaged. And we got some players that we love. You got Baker, you got Mike, you got Godwin, you got so many players, Tristan Wirfs. I mean, these are great players, and the team is, and the fans are engaged. And Brian Ford, the CEO, has done a great job, just cultivating this fan base and all the great stuff that they've done. And you're going to piss all of that away in 1 year if you're not careful. And that's
incredible.
And they need to pay attention to that. All right, I think we got another super chat. You want to pop that up?
Oh, we got a couple of them, I think.
Yeah, hit those. You're better at that than me.
Yeah. Where did we find lead off here? At some time still you lose $5. Thank you, JP. You have insight into the Glazer family. Do you think that someone has called to inquire about John Harbaugh?
Yeah. Jason would have had to do that. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I mean, if he's not doing his job, right?
Yeah. And listen, like I said, I believe the Glazers are super smart. And I believe that they have the pulse of the fan base. They know what's going on, but they dismiss it for certain reasons, I think. But yeah, of course they're going to look, they're going to ask, they need to know all the possibilities and all the options. Yeah, of course. And maybe it's not something Harbaugh is interested in, Right. Maybe he has other priorities, but the fact that his daughter plays lacrosse at USF
should tell you something.
That seems like a really big draw, because if I know one thing about the Harbaugh family, that's a family. They support each other big time, like big time. It also tells me this. John Harbaugh's been at Tampa a lot.
Yeah.
And if he's in Tampa, he's talked to people here about their football team. No question about it. I mean, let's just be honest. Everybody's aware of what's going on. And if Harbaugh must have been somewhat aware that there was an opportunity that he could be fired. I don't think this came out of the blue. So
everybody's saying she's not at USF anymore, that she's in Chicago in school now.
Okay. See, got bad information, but she was here at one point, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But if she's not here now, that's not a draw.
Bucs Basement super chat $2. No OC worth a damn is coming here. Lame duck head coach. Yeah.
That's another thing.
That's going to be a hard sell for a guy to come here with Bowles and work under Bowles, unless it's the guy that they're saying, okay, well, if we have to fire him, you're our guy. That could be attractive, but who's still, though? That's an odd situation. We went through that in Dallas last year. And you know what? It worked out because Brian Schottenheimer was hired as the OC under McCarthy, and then he became the head coach.
And here's the other thing. I mean, it's without a doubt in everyone's mind, you effed up last year by letting Liam Cohen leave. I thought you were too smart for that. I thought there was no way you would. He's not effing leaving. That's what I was told, and that's what I observed. But yet he left. You let him get away. So and you're watching what he's doing because you wanted to keep Todd Bowles. So you're sitting here with egg on your face because of that, and you're going to let another dozen just drop on your head by keeping him another year? I got news for you. You don't fire him this year, you're going to fire him next year.
Might fire him mid-season next year.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what you're thinking, but you're just delaying the inevitable, in my opinion. And, I'm an idiot, but I did say keep Liam, fire Todd last year. Fact.
And I still think Light tried. I still think Liam Cohen did him dirty.
I did too. I think Jason thought that when push came to shove, if he was going to get a head coaching offer, that they could nicely put Todd into retirement, move him upstairs, and elevate Liam.
Take him to the farm.
Yep.
JP, sometimes still you lose $5 super chat. What will happen, JP, if both Bowles and Grizzard are retained for the 2026 season? And then he throws in another $5. What do you think will transpire at this meeting between the Glazers and Bowles this week? And then he throws in another $10, JP.
Damn, let's go.
Fans were getting impatient with Bowles after last season. If they keep him, it's only going to get worse. We have a chance to end this before it gets really bad.
See, this is a passionate fan. Wants to have his voice heard.
Yeah, he did.
Thank you for that. Yes, absolutely. I could not agree more. I mean, at some point, you just gotta pull the trigger.
This is a situation that could get worse before it gets better.
Yeah, a lot worse. J.M. Lane says, "Thank you, Bolts, for keeping the hope alive in the Bay." And here's the other thing: if you hire a John Harbaugh or a Kevin Stefanski or a Brian Flores and he brings in a great OC, and he doesn't work out, I'll tell you one thing you have done: you've energized the fan base, and they're still with you, and they believe in you as an ownership group, and they'll stick with you. You do this for one more year, like I said, all that goodwill you've built up over the last 15 years in your fan base, you lose them. You lose them overnight. Well, not overnight, but over the next season. You want to take that chance? You've done a lot of great work in this community. You've done a lot of good things, the Glazers. I'm telling you, I love you guys. You've been very nice to me, and I'm trying to help you here as best I can. I'm trying to help you. I love Todd, maybe not as much as you do, but I love the guy. But come on, killing us. You're killing us. Any other super chats?
That's it so far.
Yeah. All right. We got Trey Watson waiting in the wings. We might have to go a little over here. Let's do a quick break. We'll come back and we'll bring Trey out and talk a little bit college football. We'll get his take on the Bucs as well. Quick break. Back in 3. Stay with us. You know, holidays are the best time to get engaged because all the family's already together. And at the Golden Diamond Source, they have thousands of diamonds to choose from in their jewelry wonderland. Looking for a gift that says forever? Find stunning engagement rings, diamond earrings, diamond bracelets, the most stylish gold fashion jewelry. And there's plenty for men in their new men's section and watch department. There's something for everyone on your list. And don't settle for anything less than perfection. At the Golden Diamond Source, they make it easy to give a gift they'll never forget. They wrap it up nice for you. You don't have to do any of that, guys. And they have a great staff there. You may not know what to get your lovely wife or girlfriend, but they do. Let them do the work. Hey, finance your purchase for 0% interest for up to 5 years. You could get a $5,000 diamond for only $84 a month. Don't go to the mall. Go to a local company and keep it local this Christmas at the Golden Diamond Source. 3800 Ulmerton Road. Always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man Scott Jeeves. If you're going to hire an attorney, do you want some guy looking for a quick settlement and a quick buck, or do you want an attorney with some chops? Scott is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator. Been practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. He is a peer-reviewed AV preeminent rated civil trial lawyer. They just don't hand out those classifications. He's been the lead class action counsel on many complex consumer protection cases and has handled hundreds of serious personal injury cases. He's dedicated his career to protecting injured victims and is committed to vigorously representing you. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. Personal injury and personal attention. Call for a free case evaluation. That's 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. The Jeeves Law Group. Welcome to Kingmakers, home of the JP Peterson Show studio and Tampa's premier business networking and social club for members only. By day, it's an exclusive, vibrant co-working space with a stylish conference room, focus rooms, a full production studio, and an in-house marketing team. And by night, Kingmakers transforms into a sports-centric social hub with a full sports bar, golf simulator, and exclusive events. For young entrepreneurs and seasoned professionals, it's the perfect place to work hard, play hard, and make big moves in Midtown Tampa. Close the deal, celebrate the win. Only at Kingmakers. Become a member today at kingmakerstampa.com. Your business, your club. JP here for Third Generation AC and Plumbing. And Third Generation really says it all, folks. The owner, my friend John Rodriguez, has been in the AC and plumbing business since 1995. They built their business on honest assessments and doing great work on time for a great price. Simple, right? Did you know many AC techs are incentivized on big commissions to sell new AC units and you might just need a drain cleared? So if you want someone you can trust, that's John Rodriguez and Third Generation Services. Check out the 5-star Google reviews. If you have a plumbing or AC emergency, call 813-961-8024 and a human will answer the phone. That's 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. As we roll on here on a very, it's been a hell of a week. Lightning, but now won 8 in a row. What a game last night as they beat the Abs. And what's going to happen here with, we'll find out in the next couple of days. And by the way, I don't know when this meeting is going to happen with Todd Bowles. and the Glazers. I'm guessing it's probably happening today. And we have not confirmed whether he showed up for his. Did you look that up, Timmy?
I did not.
Right.
Where is the show? Like what's it on?
It's on the Buccaneers website. It also airs on WDAE. And someone said Byron McClendon filled in for him last night, the wide receivers coach. So double check that. As I bring in our man Trey Watson here, played for Maryland, Illinois, team captain, been on the Big Ten Network, ESPN, played with the Dolphins as well. How you doing, partner? Oh, let me get your mic up because I'm an idiot. How are you?
Doing great, man. Excited for a huge week of football, college football playoff semifinals, wild card week. Gonna get to go see my first time seeing my brother play in the playoffs in person. So really excited for that.
That's cool.
Round 3 against the Bears.
If those of you who don't know, Christian Watson is his brother, plays for the Packers.
That as well. So excited for that one. Watsons tend to do well in Soldier Field. I had good experiences there.
Yeah.
Christian's had some dominant wins there.
Is that a thing? Like you go into an arena, a stadium, and you're like, you just feel confident?
I mean, there definitely are some places where you're just like, man, I have a lot of success here. Huh. Christian's first time losing in Soldier Field was a couple weeks ago, and there was no reason they should have lost that game, right? We know how that went at the end.
You are correct.
But I mean, prior to that, his 2 games, because he missed one the year they started in Chicago, he was out with an injury. His 2 starts prior to this game a couple weeks ago, he had 150 yards, career high last season, and then his rookie year he had 2 touchdowns. So clearly, he does well in Chicago. That's not an issue, and it's perfect time to have your best game in Chicago when it matters the most in the playoffs.
That's for damn sure. That's going to be a hell of a game.
I think so as well. That's why Amazon Prime picked it for that Saturday night slot.
What's the weather going to be like? What you wearing?
Cold, man. Jackets and hoodies and a big coat, man. Like when I played, I was no sleeves, I was no shirt and warm-ups, all that kind of stuff. It was great. Sit in the stands. Or coaching at some point, man. No, complete opposite. I need gloves. I need all that stuff.
What's the forecast?
I think like 30s.
And that's not bad.
But so here's what makes it bad: potential snow. And when you're hovering in that 30s range, you can get snow or you can get freezing rain.
Yeah, that's no good.
And I've had some of those freezing rain games in the past where it's just right on that borderline, and the field's wet. It's nasty. There's ice in some places, but not everywhere. And I haven't had that experience yet as a fan, which has got to be worse.
Sucks
because you're just stuck in it.
Yeah. All right, let's hit. Do you have any thoughts on the Bucs? We've been talking about them all day long. I know you follow college. I know how closely you follow the Bucs.
I mean, this year was what it was, man. We've talked about it the last couple of times I've been in here. You started so well, and you just watched it crumble. And you put yourself in such a poor position just with this awful stretch of play that they had, that even winning the last game against your division opponent doesn't earn you a spot in the playoffs. That can't be anyone's fault but your own.
Of course, yeah.
And potentially that's the way Levante David's career ends with the Bucs. That sucks. Mike Evans' situation is up in the air, right? Also the year that he ends, the greatest 1,000-yard streak ever. So it's a tough spot to be in for the franchise as a whole, but they've got a lot to figure out. And then, how can they get things going back next year?
Yeah, that's the thing with bringing him back. Gives you no momentum for next year, just nothing. And the fan base just totally checked out. It's not cool. All right, let's talk a little college football here and portal just going bananas. The big story, Damon Williams, the quarterback out of Washington, who had a great year, is now being sued by the school because he wants to leave. And this is something I've wondered about these portal contracts. Don't they demand that you have to stick around and play? And if you do sign a 2-year deal, you have to stick around, like I would think.
There's been a ton of talk about the wording of these deals because they're trying to continually be able to hold the guys to the agreements, which is good in a sense, right? Because, hey, you sign a contract, you want to be able to, hold them to the terms of that contract. But at the same time, they're still listed as student athletes, and they're still able to enter and, do the portal and all that stuff basically whenever they want. So it becomes, even if I can hold them to those rules, how much does it benefit me? Because if Washington forces Damon to stay at the school and play for them, one, they have to still pay him the $4 million or whatever it is. And two, he's still going to be angry.
Yeah.
And then what does he leave after a year, after he's mad, after you still paid him the $4 million, whether or not he does well? And clearly, if a player is in a situation where they're literally held hostage, imagine how you would feel being held hostage. And he's 19, 20 or something like that.
Yeah.
That's a kid being in that situation. It's just a tough spot to be in. And LSU or whoever.
I don't know if you could be held hostage getting paid $4 million a year. I don't know if that's possible.
Yeah, I mean, hey, to an extent,
I might have to use a different word.
Hey, there's worse ways to be held hostage than that, right? But you hear about the rich people that go in prison and they got their own wing and all that kind of stuff. This might be kind of comparable to that.
But I mean, how can he be a leader of the team? That's a weird deal. That's it. And this is why it's so effed up. It's almost as weird as Lane Kiffin sitting with Sam Levitt while the reports are that he wants to get, he's going to get the Bob Williams.
It's that I got something good right here. I'm entertaining it, but there's that bigger, shinier thing out there that I really, really want. And I heard it was available. I got the text. I got the go ahead. That's just a crazy situation to be in. Because, I mean, then if you're Sam Levitt, he left a really good situation at Arizona State.
Right.
The fan base loved him. The coach loved him. He did really well. They were in the playoffs last year. And he's making a lot of money, and he wants to go make some more and, maybe go win a championship, and all that's great. But you're sitting right there. You got Twitter too. You're going to look down and say, oh, wow, they're talking about me. So, how does that affect his recruiting? Also, what?
Wait, I thought you loved me.
Yeah.
There's other girls out there.
I'm sitting right here.
I'm right here.
Yeah. So this is a crazy situation. I'll tell you that.
And then, so Rocco Beck goes to Penn State, where we thought he would be, following his coach from Iowa State, Matt Campbell. Byron Brown goes to Auburn, and Golish raids the entire USF cabinet.
Yes, he does. It's tough, man. It really is, because and honestly, Matt Campbell at Iowa State or at Penn State now did it worse. I think they have 14 guys, I think I read, that are leaving Iowa State and going to Penn State.
This is not sustainable.
No,
for the fans. It's not.
It's hard.
It's not. It's as Evan said earlier, it's not a big boy sport. If this is what your sport is, you're a clown show. Mm-hmm. You're a clown show. And you cannot expect, number one, hell, Troy Aikman's already out. He gave money to UCLA for their quarterback, and he left. He said, I'm done. Mm-hmm. These donors are not going to continue to give this money year in and year out with this stuff happening. It can't continue. And I mean, they've got to do something. Congress needs to get involved. I saw Nick Saban the other day on game day say, listen, I'm available if the conference commissioners want to sit down, because listen, the Big Ten, the SEC, the Big 12, throw the ACC a bone. You're invited, even though you're a non-player. ESPN, Big Ten, get those 6 players in a room and say, we got to figure this out. And we're gonna come up with the rules. Congress passes an antitrust exemption, so that allows you to basically work around all these lawsuits that the players are bringing. And I'm not saying they don't have merit; they do. But you do those things right there, you can fix it. You can put guardrails up. You can have contracts that have to be adhered to, just like the NFL. It's not that hard. You just have to have the will to do it and have a collective mindset, which right now, SEC's in it for himself. ESPN's in it for themselves. Big Ten, they're all in it for their own special interests. Yeah. And every team is in it for their own interests. That can't continue. A collective sport cannot continue that way. So unless they do something like that, then you're gonna kill the golden goose.
You're gonna alienate some people 100%. And what makes it even harder than just the conferences is in each conference you have schools that were perennially terrible teams that have figured it out. You have Indiana, best team in the country. They are doing it perfect. Their portal season, they're literally about to go play a semifinal, favored, go win the national championship, have the greatest year in Indiana history. And they've got probably the best portal class right alongside with it, and they'll be ready to do the same thing next year.
Yeah, they're spending a lot of money.
And then you have Texas Tech, who below average team in the Big 12, basically forever outside of a couple of years there with Mike Leach. They look great. The money's continuing to pour in. They made the playoff. They made a ton. They're probably going to be, equipped to do it again next year with an even easier schedule. SEC, Vanderbilt's doing really well. All those teams love it. But everyone else is like, wait a second. So you have, even within each conference, you have fragments of people who are like, no, keep it this way. I made it work. If you can't make it work, well, that's a you problem.
It's Vanderbilt will have a good season, and then they won't. I've seen this with Florida State. You think you can keep doing it through the portal? You can't. You can't. You're going to miss. You're going to have years when you miss. But even while you're doing that, you're alienating the fans.
Yeah. 100%.
So I don't know if it's going to continue. All right, quickly, let's get into the games. Miami and Ole Miss tomorrow night. This Final Four, by the way. Miami, Ole Miss, Oregon, Indiana. Like, if you told me 10 years ago this is going to be the Final Four in a 12-team playoff, I'd be like, what are you, out of your mind? How's that going to happen?
Talking about basketball?
Yeah, talking about this ain't football. Oh, yeah. So once we get past that, because it's a new world, Miami and Ole Miss. Thought it was cool that Trinidad Chambliss came out and said, listen, I'm not interested in going anywhere. Loyalty. Holy shit. What's that all about? And I think that gives that whole program just a boost going into this game. Do you think?
I really do. And it was great to see both Ole Miss and Miami basically execute plans to perfection. Georgia did what they kind of have been doing all year. The offense may or may not come to the table when it matters the most. And Ole Miss offense lit it up. That was basically the only question was, can Ole Miss's offense come to play with Lane somewhere else? And since the playoffs started, they've done that.
Did the coaching staff, are they still there, or did they go to LSU?
So I believe Weiss has been back and forth. Weiss Jr., the offensive coordinator. And I know, like I read today, 2 of the position coaches now won't be back at Ole Miss. They'll be at LSU through the portal season and through the rest of the playoffs. So I think it's still like 50-50 with all that kind of stuff, which is crazy.
Bizarre.
It is. And Ole Miss is doing really well in the transfer portal while all this is going on. So they're capitalizing to the max. They're making the most of every bit of this. And Miami's done the same. Miami went out there and executed perfectly against Ohio State. It's hard to throw the ball to first-round picks and future first-round picks and Jeremiah Smith when you're getting sacked every single play. Julian Sand was getting torn up.
Yep.
And then Miami's run game was great, which that stopped the ability to have to, make Carson Beck go win the game, because that's kind of been where he struggled his whole career. So it worked out perfectly, and I think this should be another great game. Two teams that are playing their best football at the perfect time. That's the one thing about the playoff that has made it the most like the NFL, which is great. You can slip up, right? We saw Miami slip up twice, still get in. Ole Miss, they didn't really slip up. They lost to Georgia in a close game.
Right.
But it's who's playing the best right now. And
so
the teams that are, we see them.
So in a matchup situation, does Chambliss's elusiveness neutralize Mesidor and Bain in the pass rush situation?
Neutralize? Absolutely not, because those dudes are on another level right now. I mean, every play last week, it was one of them was in the backfield. Most of the time, both of them. Neutralize it doesn't, but it does give him a chance. He is more mobile than the guys that Miami has faced so far. Well, no, Reed for Texas A&M is pretty mobile, but it gives him a chance. If one of his O-linemen whiffs, he does have a chance to make one of those guys miss, but make no mistake about it, they're going to affect the quarterback.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to get the ball out quickly. They're going to have to scheme, get guys open fast, and also let the running back work. The best way to slow down ends who are just getting up the field is to slice them up in the run game. Now they have to play a little slower. They have to think a little more and stay out of 3rd and long. You're in 3rd and long versus heat-seeking missiles at defensive end. There's not a lot of situations where you win. I don't care how fast you are as a quarterback.
Right, who do you like, Miami or Ole Miss?
I like Miami. I just think they're playing well at the right time. That running game looks ridiculous behind a big offensive line. And ultimately, when you have a pass rush like that, everyone looks great. The DBs look a heck of a lot better. They take chances like we saw Scott take on that pick 6. All that kind of stuff, that starts from a D-line that is making the game so hard for an offense. So I like Miami in a close one.
There's always been that crystal ball moment. The Miami F's up.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen it yet. Well, we saw it twice this year.
Yeah.
They lost to inferior teams when they shouldn't have. And that was, Carson Beck screwing up as well. So to your point is they can keep Carson Beck, no matter how much money they're paying him, out of the making something stupid happen. I think they got a great shot, but I'm still hoping and praying as a Seminole that crystal ball will show up and do something stupid. But we'll see. All right, let's talk about Oregon and Indiana. I picked Oregon to go all the way. I'm a big Dan Lanning fan. I think their defense has played really, really well. But, man, this Indiana team, I'm done doubting them. But I think this is going to be a really, really good football game. What are your thoughts?
I think so as well. And ultimately, I agree. I like a lot of things about Oregon. I talked about them earlier on in the preseason. Like, the only thing left for them to do as a program and for Dan Lanning to do is just win a championship. And this probably would be the year to do it if Indiana didn't look like the absolute machine that they are. What they did to Alabama was just ridiculous. We haven't seen something like that since what, pre Nick Saban?
Yeah.
And it was in the biggest moment. It also just looked easy.
They embarrassed them.
It looked like they had no sweat whatsoever.
Looked like Florida State playing them.
on all sides of the ball, Indiana just they seem to have it down. Their style of play, their players executing in those moments. Kurt Cignetti has them doing it. He has them believing. There's nothing stopping that train right now. So I'm picking Indiana.
All right. So an Indiana-Miami national championship game.
Yeah.
And it's in Miami, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah. They'll finally fill up the stadium.
And there'll be more Indiana people still.
Probably more Indiana.
That's the worst part.
How about that? All right. I had to take my shots at Miami, but I got to give them their due. They have had a hell of a season. They're recruiting their ass off. They're kicking Florida State's ass all over the place. So, in all seriousness, hats off to Miami. They've done a hell of a job, and let's see if they can finish it.
That's all you got.
They haven't won squat in 20+ years, so we'll see if they can finish it. All right, Trey, thanks for coming in, man.
Absolutely.
Good luck to you. Give our best to Christian, everybody down here. Since we don't have a playoff team to root for, we might as well root for them.
Yeah, root for the hometown guys.
Yeah,
man.
right.
Let's go make it happen.
Absolutely. Well, have fun. Dress warm.
We'll do.
I look forward to chatting with you next week about your whole experience.
Let's do it.
Tell everybody how they can follow you, because I'm sure you'll be posting some stuff as you head on.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So, on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, MDQUE_33, or just type in Trey, TRE Watson. Instagram, Trey_Watson33. That's where you can find me. We'll be talking throughout the game and throughout the weekend. I want to make it a great one for all of us Watsons and Cheesehead fans.
We're rooting for you. Thanks, partner. All right, that'll do it for us here. Timmy, any final words, thoughts from you, my friend?
Nope, I think we're good, JP. We're an hour and a half past time. I think we're good.
He's mad at me. It went over. It's a big day. Thank you, guys. I'm sorry we didn't get to all your comments today, guys. Really appreciate you jumping in and adding something to the show. We will see you tomorrow, and keep an eye on social media. We never know what's going to happen. If something happens with Todd Bowles, positive or negative, we will be doing another one, Timmy. I'll be calling you. We'll be doing an emergency podcast.
Let's do it.
We'll see you then.